Far above the stars, beyond what human telescopes could see, a great structure floated in space. It was called the Galactic Council Station, and it was home to hundreds of alien species from across the galaxy. Some were tall and thin. Others were short and covered in fur or scales. They spoke different languages, lived on different worlds. But they all followed one rule: do not touch Earth. For over 300 years, Earth had been listed under Observation Protocol 9, a law that meant no species could interfere with humans. They were considered a young race, curious, emotional, and unpredictable. But now, things were changing. Inside the main chamber of the council station, the air was tense. Long tables curved around a glowing platform in the center, where the speakers stood. Hundreds of alien leaders watched as a tall, armored creature walked to the front. His name was General Corlax, leader of the Threx Dominion, a powerful empire known for conquering weaker planets. Esteemed Council, Corlax said in a deep voice, I bring news. Earth is rich in water, metal, and energy. The humans are not ready for war. They are still divided. They have not joined the council. It is time to act. Whispers filled the room. Some species nodded. Others looked worried. A soft voice rose from the back. It came from Laren, a wise old alien from the peaceful Varellan order. Her eyes glowed blue as she stood. General Corlax, she said calmly, Earth is not as simple as it seems. They have survived disasters, wars, and even destroyed their own skies, yet they always rebuild. Their minds grow quickly. Their machines evolve. If you attack, you may regret it. Corlax laughed. They are still using fossil fuels. Their people fight over borders. They cannot even agree on how to lead their own planet. But they learn, Alarin replied, and they adapt faster than any species we have seen. The council members began to argue. Some wanted to protect Earth. Others wanted its resources. A vote was called. One by one, glowing lights appeared above each delegate. Red for no, green for yes. In the end, the vote passed by only 3 votes. Earth would be invaded. Far below, on a small blue planet called Earth, people continued with their daily lives. Children went to school. Workers drove cars and flew across countries. News channels talked about politics, sports, and weather. No one knew what was coming. But in secret places, deep underground or hidden in mountains, a different kind of human was watching the skies. In a dark control room beneath the North Atlantic Alliance Command, a young officer named Captain Aisha. Verma stared at a blinking screen. Something just entered our solar system, she said. Unknown energy signature. It's not one of ours. Her commander leaned over. Where is it heading? Aisha zoomed in. Earth. The screen showed several large objects moving fast. Too fast for anything made by humans, and they weren't. Broadcasting a peaceful signal. The order went out across the world. Code blue: extraterrestrial contact. Satellites in orbit began scanning. Defense systems powered up. Stealth units activated. Hidden under ocean floors and icy caves. And inside old satellites, Earth's secret weapons waited. The humans had prepared for this day not because they knew aliens were real, but because they prepared for everything. Back on the council station, Alarin sat quietly while Corlax smiled at the vote. A young alien scholar leaned toward her and whispered, Do you think the Threx can really win? Alarin shook her head. Slowly, they did not understand humans. No one really does. But I have watched them longer than most. They do not always act smart. But when danger comes, they do something strange. What? They unite. She looked at the stars, where the Threx ships were jumping toward Earth. They have woken something they cannot control. In the cold dark of space, the Threx invasion fleet flew closer to Earth. 50 warships, armed with plasma cannons and shield generators, ready for battle. General Corlax stood at the front of his command ship, proud and confident. They won't know what hit them, he said. But behind him, on his screen, a strange message appeared from Earth. It was short. It showed a symbol of a globe, surrounded by satellites. Then it spoke in calm English. You have entered restricted space. This is Earth Defense Network. Turn back now. Corlax laughed and shut the screen off. He didn't know that humans weren't just watching. They were waiting. The sky over Earth was quiet. Birds flew over cities. People walked in parks. No one looked up to see the danger coming. But above the clouds, far past the moon, the Threx invasion fleet arrived, 50 warships, black and sharp like knives. Their engines glowed blue as they circled the planet. The Threx commander, General Korlax, stood tall inside his ship, looking down at Earth. They don't even have space defenses, he said with a smirk. This will be over quickly. He pressed a button on the control panel. A loud, deep voice echoed across Earth's radios, televisions, and satellites. People of Earth, this is General Korlax of the Threx Dominion. Your planet now belongs to us. Do not resist. Surrender your cities and leaders. We will take what we need. For a few seconds, the world went silent. Then the message repeated again and again. People froze. News channels broke into emergency broadcasts in New York, Tokyo, London, and Nairobi. The same message played. At first, many thought it was a joke. But soon, videos of alien ships entering Earth's orbit began to spread. The world changed in minutes. In a mountain base in northern Canada, Captain Aisha Verma stood in front of a large screen showing the enemy fleet. They're starting to move, she said. We have confirmation of energy weapons charging. Her commander nodded. Initiate shield phase 1. Above Earth, a surprise waited as the Threx ships approached. Hidden satellites once thought to be weather probes powered up. They formed a grid and began to project a global defense shield. Light blue energy shimmered like glass around the planet. The Threx fired. Beams of energy hit the shield and bounced back into space. One of their own ships took a glancing hit and spun out of formation. General Korlax frowned. What is that? A crew member turned. It's a defensive grid, sir. It wasn't in the data. We didn't know Earth had this tech, Korlax growled. They're supposed to be primitive. Launch ground units, break through that shield, over major cities. Threx dropships began entering the atmosphere, but the humans were ready. In the deserts of Nevada, the forests of Poland, and the jungles of South America, stealth drones took flight, invisible to radar and silent in motion. They attacked the alien crafts midair. One by one, the dropships were shot down. In London, a Threx ground team landed near the city's edge. They raised their weapons, expecting no resistance. But a group of soldiers in powered exosuits stepped out of the shadows. They looked human, but their armor made them faster, stronger, and smarter. Within minutes, the Threx team was defeated. Round the world, similar scenes played out. Humans were not running. They were fighting back and winning. Inside the Threx command ship, alarms rang, casualties rising, reported an officer. We've lost 15 ships. 40% of drop units destroyed. They have anti-gravity weapons, autonomous drones. They even hacked one of our cruisers. What? Korlax snapped. The screen flashed. One of their own warships had turned around and opened fire on the Threx fleet. General Korlax stared. How Earth AI, the officer said. They took control of our systems. Korlax slammed his fist into the console. Retreat. Pull back to orbit. We regroup. We weren't ready for this, but it was too late. As the Threx ships turned to retreat, the Earth Defense Network activated orbital cannons, massive railguns hidden on the dark side of the moon. They fired silent, glowing rods of metal at incredible speeds. 3 Threx warships exploded in seconds. The others barely escaped on the ground. In cities around the world, people looked up as pieces of alien ships fell like shooting stars. Cheers rang out from balconies and rooftops. Humanity had not only survived the first attack, they had crushed it. In the control center, Captain Aisha watched the battle screen go quiet. Is it over? A younger officer asked. No, Aisha said, her eyes sharp. This is just the beginning. They'll come again, stronger. Back in the Galactic Council station, alien leaders watched the reports in disbelief. A video showed Threx ships burning in Earth's sky. Another showed a human drone hacking into alien tech. And then, a final video showed Earth's warning message. We do not seek war, but we will not surrender. This is our home. Alarin, the wise Varellin, turned to the council. They warned. You, she said softly. We all did. Now you see it with your own eyes. A quiet voice in the chamber whispered, They're invading Earth? Even the council knew it was a mistake. Smoke still rose from the places where alien ships had fallen. Cities cleaned the ruins. People looked at the sky not with fear, but with focus. The invasion had failed. But humans knew this was not the end. The enemy would return. In a hidden base under the Arctic ice, top leaders from around the world sat at a round table. Scientists, generals, and diplomats shared one goal: prepare Earth's response. At the head of the table sat Dr. Mira Solis, a brilliant scientist known for her work with artificial intelligence and space travel. She had worked in secret for years, building a defense system that most people didn't even know existed. Now, she stood up and pointed to a hologram of the Threx fleet. They attacked without warning. She said, But we pushed them back. Not because we are stronger, but because we are smarter, and we fight for home. She tapped the screen. A new image appeared of Threx Warship, floating in a secured hangar under the Pacific Ocean. This ship crashed near Hawaii. We captured it. My team has been working on it non-stop, and we cracked it. Everyone leaned forward. We now have their jump drive. That means we can reach their territory. And the Galactic Council. A murmur passed through the room. You want to send humans into alien space? Asked a general. Yes, Mira said. Not to attack, to send a message. A week later, a small spacecraft lifted off from a base in New Zealand. It was called Unity 1. It didn't carry weapons, but it carried a crew of the best minds Earth had: engineers, linguists, a few elite soldiers, and one leader, Ambassador Elias Grant, a calm, wise man who had once been a war hero and later helped bring peace between Earth's nations. As the ship entered deep space, Elias looked out the window. Stars shone all around them. Somewhere ahead was the council. And beyond that, maybe more enemies. He spoke to the crew. We don't go to show power. We go to show who we are. Back on the Galactic Council station, confusion and fear filled the air. The council had just learned about the failed invasion. The Threx Dominion had lost half its fleet. Korlax had returned wounded, angry, and silent. The Threx leaders demanded reinforcements, but the other species were no longer sure. They destroyed Threx ships without using planet killers, said one delegate. They hacked their systems. They fought smart. They warned us, said another. Alarin, the Varellin elder, stood again. You voted to invade Earth. Now Earth is coming to speak for itself. Will you listen? The council leader blinked. What do you mean Earth is coming? Just then, a message arrived on the station's main screen. Incoming Earth vessel. Requesting diplomatic landing. Peaceful contact. The council chamber went silent. Unity 1 docked with the station. Armed security waited, unsure of what to expect. The doors opened. Elias Grant stepped out first. Wearing no armor, just a simple black suit with the symbol of Earth, a blue circle with green leaves. Behind him came scientists and translators, each calm and alert. Elias walked into the council hall like he belonged. Their greetings, he said. I speak for Earth. Some council members expected begging. Others expected threats. Instead, Elias spoke with clear, calm words. We did not ask for war. But when war came, we defended ourselves. Now we come in peace. But we come as equals. We are not a small, helpless planet. We are not what you thought. He paused. A video played behind him showing the invasion, the battles, the people of Earth standing strong. We're not here to ask for protection, Elias said. We're here to join the stars. But we won't kneel. After he spoke, the room was quiet. No one laughed. No one argued. Even the Threx delegates stayed silent. Later, in private meetings, many council members approached Elias and his team. Some offered technology. Some asked about Earth's machines. Some simply said, We were wrong about you. Alarin smiled as she watched. They came here without fear, she said to her aide. That is rare. Back on Earth, news spread that humanity had reached the stars not with guns, but with voice and vision. Children in schools cheered when they saw the Unity 1 crew return. Scientists were inspired, soldiers trained harder. Leaders from all countries met again to build something new, a united Earth defense. An exploration network not just to protect Earth, but to reach beyond in space, far from Earth. Threx generals gathered in secret. They were angry, humiliated. Some wanted revenge, but others were quiet. One of them, looking at a replay of Elias's speech, said only, they were not supposed to rise this fast. They were not supposed to win. Another replied, they were never weak. We just never looked deep enough. Since the humans arrived, everything had changed. Some council members were still in shock. Others were curious. A few were angry. The Threx Dominion was the most powerful empire in the council, until Earth destroyed half their fleet in a single day. Now, the balance was broken. In the high chambers of the station, secret meetings were held behind closed doors. The Threx were trying to convince their old allies to support them in a second attack, but no one agreed. They were lucky. General Korlax growled in one meeting. They only won because we underestimated them. A green-skinned diplomat from the Zolari people frowned. You said they were weak, that they had no space tech. But they hacked your ships, stopped your weapons, and forced you to retreat. Korlax's eyes narrowed. With our help, we can still crush them. The Zolari delegate stood. No. The Council allowed one invasion and Earth survived. If we strike again, and they win again, the entire galaxy will know we are not the strongest anymore. Meanwhile, in another part of the station, Earth's ambassador, Elias Grant, met with the leaders of other worlds. He stood with quiet confidence, his voice steady and respectful. We don't want enemies, he told them. We want to understand. But if you attack us again, we will defend ourselves. And we are not alone anymore. He showed them data, Earth's AI systems, defense grids, and new space engines. But he also showed them images of human life families, music, history, and art. Humanity is more than just machines, Elias said. We are dreamers, builders, survivors, and when we are pushed, we rise. Many delegates nodded. A few even clapped. Some began to ask, what can we learn from Earth? In a quiet hallway, Alarin, the Varellan elder, walked beside Elias. I saw something today, she said. A young species standing tall before the oldest powers in the galaxy. And not once did you look afraid. Elias smiled. We've had centuries of fear. Now, we choose courage. Alarin stopped and turned to him. You should know. Not everyone in the council wants peace. Some fear what you are becoming. They may act in secret. Elias nodded. Then we'll be ready, far from the council station. A secret Threx base orbited a cold moon. Inside, high-level Threx generals watched a new plan unfold. If the council will not help us, one of them said, then we will act alone. They had found Earth's Mars colony a peaceful research base with only a few hundred humans living there. It was far from Earth's main defenses. We strike the colony, the general said. No warning, no mercy. Earth will feel pain, and the council will see they are not untouchable. The others agreed. A small but deadly strike fleet prepared for launch. On Mars, life was calm. Red dust blew across the empty plains. Domes covered the colony, where scientists studied the soil, atmosphere, and stars. Inside a research lab, Dr. Leonjo, a geologist, looked through a microscope. Beside her, her young assistant, Samir, monitored the radar systems. Suddenly, Samir's screen flashed red. Unidentified ships approaching fast, he said. Not Earth vessels. Leon froze. Can we reach Earth? No time. They'll be here in minutes. Without panic, they triggered the colony distress beacon. It sent a coded signal to Earth and the moon base. Outside, the sky turned black as the Threx ships entered Mars' thin atmosphere. Back on Earth, alarms rang in the Arctic command base. Alert from Mars colony. A voice called out. Multiple ships. Threx signature. Colony is under attack. Captain Aisha Verma was already suiting up. Launch Echo Squadron. Prepare long-range defense. We're going to Mars. Within minutes, Earth's new interplanetary defense fleet launched into space. Fast, quiet, and deadly. The ships moved with precision. They had been built using Threx technology but improved by human hands. On Mars, the colony shook as explosions hit the outer domes. The colonists hid in the lower tunnels. The Threx soldiers landed with force, thinking they would meet no resistance. But they were wrong. Security drones activated. Automated turrets rose from the ground. And hidden inside the mining zone, 3 human soldiers in combat suits waited. In silence, they attacked with speed and strength, taking down the first wave of Threx soldiers in under 2 minutes. Then, the skies lit up. Earth's fleet arrived. Fighter jets raced across the red sky. Energy blasts hit the Threx ships. Within seconds, Earth regained the air. General Korlax, watching from a command screen far away, saw his Mars strike force fall apart. Again. Hours later, Elias stood before the council again. He showed footage of the Mars attack. This was not war, he said. It was a coward strike against peaceful scientists. But we stopped them because we are ready, and we are done being hunted. The council was silent. Alarin stood. Earth defended its own. Again, the Threx have broken council rules. There must be action. Slowly, one by one, delegates nodded. A vote was called. The result was clear. The Threx Dominion was removed from the council. Earth, for the first time, was offered a seat. The stars had changed. What once was a galaxy ruled by fear and old power was now watching something new, something human. After the failed attack on Mars, the Threx Dominion had lost nearly everything. Their warships were broken. Their leaders were silent. And now, by vote of the council, they had lost their place in the galaxy's highest seat. But the biggest change was this: Earth had been invited in. Inside the shining halls of the Galactic Council Station, a new flag was raised, a blue circle, with green leaves and a bright star in the center. It was the flag of Earth, not one country, but one world. Ambassador Elias Grant stood with his team, wearing the same calm face he always had. But today, even he felt something stronger inside: pride. We are not here to take power, Elias said during his first speech. We are here to share peace, protect the weak, and remind the strong that even the smallest voice can rise. The council chamber filled with respectful silence, then slow applause. Back on Earth, the world watched the moment live. Children in schools clapped. Scientists hugged each other in labs. Soldiers stood tall with quiet smiles. Humanity had done the impossible. They were not just part of the galaxy. They had earned respect, but not everyone celebrated. In a hidden part of space, far from any star, the last Threx generals gathered. We lost Earth, one said bitterly. No, said another. We lost to what Earth has become. They were not strong at first, but every time we hit them, they grew stronger. One of the younger Threx commanders looked at a screen showing Earth's cities, space stations, and fleets. They build faster than we destroy. They learn faster than we fight. We should have never touched that planet. The room fell quiet. Meanwhile, Earth did not stop moving forward. On the moon, humans and alien engineers worked together, building the first joint research base. On Mars, the colony was rebuilt with help from peaceful council members. Earth's ships now patrolled nearby. Systems not to control, but to protect. Back in the Arctic command base, Captain Aisha Verma stood before a group of new cadets. Some of you were just children when the sky lit up, she said, but you saw what humans can do. We don't look for fights, but when the time comes, we stand. She paused, looking at the young faces. And now, we're not standing alone. On the Galactic Council Station, things also changed. Old powers who once laughed at humans now came to them with questions. With respect and sometimes with fear. One day, Elias Grant was called to a special meeting. The council was discussing a serious problem. Pirates were attacking small planets beyond the main trade routes. These pirates used old Threx weapons and had no loyalty to any law. They're hurting innocent worlds, said one council member. We need help. Elias nodded. Earth will help. Will you send warships? Someone asked. Elias smiled. No, we'll send peacekeepers. Within days, a fleet of mixed Earth and Council ships left for the outer systems. They carried not only weapons, but supplies, doctors, and diplomats. Where once Earth sent armies, now it sent hope. Months passed. Human music began to play in alien cities. Earth food was sold in space stations. Humans learned alien languages, and aliens began learning human jokes. A new age had begun, but no one forgot what started it all. A single mistake. One day, a young alien student walked with Elder Alarin through the council gardens. Elder, the student asked, "Do you remember when Earth first came here?" Alarin smiled gently. "Of course. I was there when the vote was made to let the Threx invade." Why did they think Earth would be easy to conquer? Alarin stopped walking and looked up at the stars. Because humans look soft at first. They argue, they laugh, they build things that break. But what the council didn't see was what humans become when they are tested. The student blinked. What do they become? Alarin turned, her eyes glowing with memory. They become unstoppable. Back in Earth's orbit, a massive space station named Horizon 1 floated like a lighthouse in the dark. Inside, humans and aliens worked side by side. It was built on a simple idea. No more surprises. No more silence. No more mistakes. In a wide control room, a small plaque hung on the wall. It read, "They're invading Earth." Even the council knew it was a mistake. Under it was written, "Never underestimate a world with nothing to lose and everything to protect."